Welcome to Grab Her by the Mic, the podcast for women who always forget that holidays aren't relaxing, they just relocate the chaos. Today we're talking about holiday meltdowns, fantasizing about minor but medically convenient car accidents, G-bangers making a deeply personal comeback, dobbing your husband into his mum, and the full nervous system reaction you get when you think you see your ex, even if it wasn't your ex. If you're listening to this on holiday or hiding in the bathroom, this one's for you. So let's get into it. Let's launch into recap and rosé, spill a glass of wine and pour a glass of wine and spill about our week.
It's recap and rosé, the part where they relive their week like it was national news.
But first up, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking the Cots de Cots. It's a French rosé, a Gerard Bertrand Côte des Roses rosé. It's that one in a really pretty bottle. It's kind of got the crystallized bottom.
Oh, we got the litre one for our joint birthdays and drank it within 45 minutes.
Yeah, that one. And it was $26 Dan Murphy's.
Love it.
Not too bad.
Yeah. I don't think that the one I'm drinking today is part of my trauma wine collection. I think it's part of my wine subscription that I'm a part of, which is Good Pair Days. They send me 4 bottles a month and I get a white, a rosé, a red and a sparkling. This one is called Ray Well Rosé from the Clare Valley in South Australia. Have not tried it yet, so could be terrible. No, of course it's not. It's very light, very easy to drink. But that's a really good wine subscription if you're ever looking for one. You rate the bottles and they give you selections based on your ratings. You take quizzes to get your palate and all that kind of stuff.
And do you have to have those 4 combinations?
No, you pick whatever you want. I just wanted a variety. I have had it on pause for quite a while. I pause it, then I unpause it. So it's really flexible. Not sponsored, but we'll reach out to them and pretend we have big numbers and be like, hey, you want to send me some free wine? I have been a member since it started, so quite a long time. And James even gets a craft beer selection sent with my wine box as well. So they've branched out. I think they do some vodkas and gins and stuff now.
Yeah, I think I remember. I think in COVID, I did one really similar where it was just every Friday a cocktail box would turn up with everything we needed for that cocktail. It was perfect in COVID, nothing else to do. And then I had to stop because I was, kept buying more. I'd have the subscription plus more.
My favorite hobby is drinking. It's my favorite sport. So, yeah.
Get a gold medal every time.
Honestly, if you win, you win. If you lose, you win. So that's a great sport. So recap and rosé, do you want to start or do you want me to get started?
I'll start. I had a very, very wholesome Friday. Same as last week. Went to the markets this morning.
With your Rwanda basketball bag?
Mm-hmm. But took my bag. Got some veggies.
Did you get a schleek
Get
again?
a schleek this time. I got a rocket. And the rocket is massive. Like it's thick. Like a big, thick leaf. It's divine. Oh, I bought a new gut probiotic and elixir. I will look up the name so I can pop it into the show notes. And it's basically you take a teaspoon of it every morning and after 21 days, it resets your whole gut. But the problem with probiotics and prebiotics that are on the shelf, normal ones, they're great, but they don't penetrate down into the lower lining of the stomach, which is where all your bacteria gets affected. And this one is super strength. So it goes down there, gets to that lower gut bacteria and really helps to sort of give it a good reset. And it's got lots of good probiotics and gut bacteria, especially for people who are sensitive to dairy, which I am. But I still have dairy. This, I think, is going to try and, I hope helps with a bit of that.
My question, first of all, is what does it taste like? Because remember we went to Byron, we went somewhere in Byron and you're like, we have to go and get this hemp oil. It's great for inflammation. And we went there and I was like, yes, I'm all about it. Earth Mama. We're in I have no idea.
We were in Nimbin.
It wasn't Nimbin. Was it Nimbin?
It was Nimbin.
I felt like I should have grown up my armpit hair. Went to try this hemp oil and I was like, it's going to fix all my problems. I tried it. I went, no, I cannot. No matter what it will fix, I will never be taking that every day because I do not like foul tasting things in my mouth.
You have been drinking all day, haven't you? Here I am about prebiotic and probiotic and you're on a bender.
I'm going to the RSL after this for the Friday meat raffle and we're members, of course.
So funny.
Anyway, yes, so it doesn't taste like anything.
Yeah, no, it tastes like nothing. Be the texture of maybe a jelly, I'd say. Gel, you take a teaspoon, 5 milligrams. You take it once a day. Morning is better because the gut lining can be reached a bit easier if you take it in the morning. I just had a chaser. I think I just had some water afterwards.
Water is not a chaser. Sorry, I hate to interrupt, but it's not a chaser. Gin is a chaser.
You know what? We are on very different paths right now, and I'm feeling some sort of division, but I think it's because of where I am. And this is where I'm at this market. I turn into, I don't know who the hell I am. I bought a turmeric, like a root.
Don't you ground it yourself, Earth Mama? No.
So I bought this
You're like
knob.
Madonna. You're like, I am Byron now. I'm going to have my English accent. I'm Madonna. No.
But I have this knob of turmeric and I'm like, cool. So what do I do? But I felt like I needed it in my basket. And then I went shopping this week at the Habitat Precinct. If you're in Byron, you have to go. It's got the best clothes for kids and stuff.
And was that where we had the scooters and we were bothering all those people with the 7 million children?
That's exactly where we were.
Okay.
But I went to F&H Jewelry and I
Okay.
got these little Huggies and my little chilies. I had these before, but I lost one in the surf. And so I went back and bought another one. I took Hamish shopping there because he loves this little brand called Ziggy Zaza. I'm having a really good week. I'm really relaxed. It takes a few days to get me relaxed on a holiday. Frazzled for the first 3.
The first 3?
Yeah.
My hyperfix might be about that.
Oh, really? I think it's 3. I'm going to go 3.
It is 3. It is 3.
And then you kind of forget what day it is, when you're going home. It's when you know you're in a holiday mode.
Mhm.
I'm reading. The kids are great.
What are you reading?
I had to give up Agatha Christie.
No.
Which is also what I'm going to talk about for a second. So I just defaulted back to my go-to Colleen Hoover, and it's a book called Slammed. It's easy.
Sounds sexual.
Not yet. We're building there. I think we're building
Love
up
it.
to that. But I've had a good week. Been really happy, except it is hot here. And I haven't got the fan on because I don't want to disrupt the audio. So
No, you don't want to make more work for all the work that I already do.
my editor may quit. What about your week?
My week has been pretty good. We are on holidays as well. We go down south around 5 hours to Merimbula. Yes, my week was good. A couple of things. First of all, where I am, I've had a really big project at work. So I had to log in and actually work on my holiday, which is totally fine. But we're at a caravan park and the internet is absolute shit. Obviously. So I'm actually in a space right now called Co-work Merimbula. And I wanted to give them a little bit of a shout out because I was speaking to, I was chatting to her on the phone, just explaining what I needed. I needed the internet basically, but I've never been to a co-working space. And it's amazing. You just plug one cable into your computer and then a monitor works, a mouse works, a keyboard works. You've got the internet. It's very snazzy, very switched on. I've popped in here a couple of times this week to work and I'm using one of their private offices right now to record because it turns out that co-working from a holiday cabin with children and caravan park Wi-Fi is a complete scam. Actual desks, actual internet, and no small people yelling mum at me 14 times within 10 minutes. So I'm just going to say if anyone is in the area in the Sapphire Coast and is looking for a proper place to work, I'm going to put the link in the show notes and also post on our Instagram. I feel like this is a female-led business and it's one that I definitely want to support because I felt Zoe really was helpful to me and just answering my questions and I could hear the kids in the background and I felt, girl, I relate.
Yeah.
Totally relate. So that was, I guess, my first thing this week. It's been really good. So much more efficient having a proper setup when you're trying to work, and it's been good to escape from my children.
Can you just pretend you have to work? Just be like, gotta go.
Well, yes, I could, but I do feel really guilty. And I said to James, I'm just really anxious because I've got so much I left that I just need to sort out for work. And he'd mentioned, try not to just sit on your laptop the whole time and work and everything, because I've always been one who isn't able to switch off and disconnect. And he said, just do what you got to do. Go somewhere else so that you're separate and just, that's fine, don't worry. And he takes care of it. I think way more than I need to. A few other things that have been quite interesting is the return of the G-banger for me. So I have not worn a G-string since I had Noah 7 years ago, roughly. I don't know why. I've been spotting the maternity undies where I can pretty much tuck my nipple into the waistband of the undies for 2 reasons. The undies come up super high and the nipples go super low. So they meet in the middle, kind of like around the belly button region. Mm-hmm. So I've been sporting those for ages. Sometimes I'll lash out and get like a lacy, but still a fucking massive granny panty. So after Christmas, Boxing Day sales, there's a really good in the Highlands, if anyone's ever in Barrel, there is a Bendon lingerie outlet. And I swear, great quality bras, $20 a bra. And I never, ever buy matching undies with a bra because I think, bullshit, whatever. I did. I've never vibed with myself more than when I put on a matching set.
What?
No one sees it. Yeah. I was feeling myself. I had the matching undies in Big W, of course. And oh my gosh, look, 3 hanky-panky SG bangers for $6. I'm going to try it out. Why not? I've worn a G-string 2 times on this holiday and I don't know how I feel because I feel like I'm not wearing anything and it's breezing up my skirt. So Do you ever wear G-strings?
Yeah, I would call mine very just G-string. There's no lace. I just do cotton. I'm a cotton undie gal. I don't do a T-string.
What is a T? Oh, where it's just
a stitch and a
No.
stitch. It feels like it's just flossing my asshole all day.
You're going to go see the dentist and be like, can you check my ass crack while you're here? Because I've got a good floss routine.
But I do wear a G-string. I don't do matching, but I have black, beige, grey. Very basic.
I feel so good about myself. I don't know why.
In the G-string?
No, not the G-string. The matching undies. The G-string I'm not quite sure about, but it was like cleaning up in the cabin and I thought, oh, there's a bit of toilet paper that kids are scrunched up on the floor. It's just my white G-string. Just like tiny on the floor. And I think the size is wrong. It's
and you kind of like take it off and you're like, ugh.
You take it off and it's always rolled. And it's like, am I going to spend the time to unroll it or am I just going to chuck it in the bin?
It is
And then
raveled.
No. G-bangers. G-bangers are back for me after 7 years. The other thing, I had all of that drama last week about having some sort of parasite or virus.
Yes.
No results.
Oh.
Did all that. No one's called me and shit's been fine. I feel fine.
God, I got my results.
And?
Well.
Is it filler?
So my results came back. He said, so just looking at the report, he said, your filler has calcified.
Oh, it's not only migrated, it's turned into a fossil. So how old is that filler? It's a fossil. It's a dinosaur.
It's like, when did you get it? I said, I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know when I got it. But if it makes you feel better, I can't feel it. And he's like, if you can't feel it and it's not worrying you, it's just there.
But do you feel so good, though, that you had that confirmation? You're not dying, you don't have cancer, or it's not a twin that you absorbed in the womb? You're all good? I kind of wish it was a twin.
Or like the beads from the bead kit, you know.
I'd be concerned if it was the beads because then your children are trying to kill you because they're shoving beads up your nose without you knowing.
I'd be more concerned of why I didn't wake up. Someone's ramming this.
I've seen you sleep. You do not wake up. I have mounted you in your sleep and you have not woken up. So I wouldn't be surprised. Well, I'm glad you have your results.
But can I tell you something from a medical point of view and someone who's worked in the medical world?
Go on then, flight attendant. Go on.
Careful, I'll charge you. We'll call it a telehealth. But if it's something that's severe or really bad, the pathology department needs to call the requesting doctor and say, hey, you've got a patient who's got this on their blood tests. They have that legality.
Well, that's why he put his mobile number down. But that just means that I was right in, I think it was the Wegovy. He told me to stop the Wegovy while we were going through all this. I've stopped it and I've gone back to feeling normal. But I am fucking starving. I am starving. I've never been so hungry. I wake up hungry and I just have to have a banana or anything to get me going. Give me my shots back. I'm starving. And I didn't realize it would be so quick. A week out of not having a dose, I was up in the middle of the night because I was starving and I was hungry. And I had spaghetti bolognese that night. I'm just really hungry. That's it. Wegovy, very hungry. No results. I don't think I'm dying. I don't think it was a parasite. I do think it was the Wegovy, just like my best friend ChatGPT told me. The other thing that I thought was really cute today is we went to the movies because the weather here has been shocking. Last night, I felt the cabin was going to blow away. Gale-force winds. Most of the caravan park is cleared out because it's just supposed to be wet for the next 4 or 5 days.
Lucky your G-strings went on the line.
We don't have a line. We just have the railing of the cabin balcony and I just hang on the G-strings out, flowing in the wind. Yeah. So we went to the movies today and Mabel's like, I just thought it was super cute. She goes, Dad, I just got to go to the bathroom. I go, okay, cool, we'll take a bath. She's like, can you pause it?
Oh, bless.
So cute.
I miss her.
She is fucking beautiful, but such a pain in the ass. Every day, it's a drama. Every single damn day, she wakes up and she's like, no, it looked at me wrong. Now I'm going to ruin everyone's fucking day. And I'm like, I'm so touched out. The last thing I had, I'm reading a really good book, actually listening to a really good book. I wanted to recommend it on the podcast. I've even recommended it to my mother-in-law because she loves a royal sort of book, but it's called The Heir Apparent by Rebecca Armitage. It's a holiday read that feels like The Crown crossed with The Princess Diaries, but for grown-ups. The premise is someone called Lexi and she's a doctor living in Tasmania, so you've got the Australian vibe in there, but her life gets completely upended in the beginning of the book because she's thrust into the line of royal succession. She's the next in line for the throne all of a sudden when she was never going to be. And what I really like about it is the author is a legit royal correspondent. So she knows all about the behind the scenes, and the details feel surprisingly real, which keeps you sort of interested and invested in it.
Cool. What's it called again?
It's called The Heir Apparent by Rebecca Armitage, and I'm listening to it on Spotify while I try to ignore my family. And it's actually just been picked for a Reese Witherspoon book club pick, so I'm definitely trending. Anything else for you on Recap and Rosé?
So, true story. I was at the pool with the kids and I was sitting there reading my book. And then, when you just think, oh my God, I think that is my ex-boyfriend, and I'm in public and I don't really know what to do. And everything about my body was just, everything went quiet. My body was in this tense, what do I do? What do I do? Is that him? Is that a threat? I'm thinking, why would he be here? It'd be weird if he was here. And my knees were shaking. And then I'm thinking, I'm like a teenage girl in this whole thing.
But is this the boyfriend that you had not the healthiest relationship with?
100% not a healthy relationship.
Well, that's why you felt like this. But I know that feeling where everything sort of goes quiet and zeroes in on what you're
Yes.
focusing on.
And I was kind of internally going, well, what if it is? What do I do next? I don't want to look at him and him recognize me. Do I just pick up my phone and look at my phone? I was like, do I just pass out? And then I was trying to do my breath and I'm thinking, I saged this morning. I saged myself. Surely not.
I walked past a crystal shop and I was like, need to take a photo of this. I'm like, look at all this bullshit in here.
And I'm like, oh my God, I feel so haunted. Is it him? But why am I shaking? I sage. It can't be him. Anyway, and then this person turned around and I think I was just waiting to see the front. Honestly, if I could say it was a cut copy of this ex-boyfriend. And it was this pending doom. Is it him? Is it him? Is it him? And this guy just started to turn around. And the minute I saw his profile, it's a little bit like him. And then he turned and I was like, oh God, it's not. It's not. And thank goodness. But honestly, the deep breathing I had to do, all of the bad things came back from our relationship. My body felt it. And then I was like, I'm going to go home and sage again.
It's not working sort of thing. Stop doing it. Stop wasting money on sage. Fucking idiot.
I need to charge my crystals. And I was like, God, Hannah's going to... Anyway, what happened was I went and bought a new crystal.
Go on then. What is it?
Well, this one helps with the nervous system and the resetting of the nervous system. It is a blue crystal.
I love Spencer Pratt.
Yeah. Plot twist, wasn't him, but my word, did the body not cope.
My question is, if it was him and he saw you and he came up and engaged, what would you do?
Oh God, I didn't think you were going to ask me that question. I don't know what I'd do. I think based on what my body felt when I thought it was him, I think my body would say to me, get out. Sirens, evacuate. Yeah. Leave the
They're
kids.
lost to Byron Bay. They're not my kids. It's like fucking Queenstown all over again.
Yeah, fanging it out of there. I would have just avoided. Politely just said, please be gone. I would have got the sage out.
Because all my ex-boyfriends are in another country, so I don't really need to worry too much about that.
Well, mine's in another state, so I don't know why I thought he would be there, but then I was kind of like, well, it is a touristy
you just never know.
area.
Yeah, you never know. And people are allowed to go on holidays.
Stay away from me. Yeah, no, I don't know what I was thinking.
You get all those feelings that come back. And I guess for you, those feelings would have been the trauma response that you had and the zeroing in and the like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I don't want to step a foot out of line. I don't want to create any sort of reaction with him. I'm guessing might have been why your response was to freeze and to make yourself invisible in a way.
Okay, let's keep going.
We move on to the hyperfix for the
Let's
week.
do it.
Oh, actually, you know what we need to move on to is resolutions reality check.
Folks, these resolutions, embarrassing, two total disasters. It's time for resolutions reality check.
Welcome to Resolutions Reality Check, the segment where we check in on our goals for the year and see which ones survived contact with real life. No shame, only data. Just a quick recap. My resolution was to be happy. What was your resolution, Philippa?
To grow.
To keep growing, and I've actually combined our podcast resolution for the sake of efficiency. Our resolution for the podcast was to create community in separate ways, but the vibe is still there.
Is still there. I have such an interesting thing. It's so cool.
So what we need to do in this check is rate ourselves, give a reason why we're giving that rating, and provide the receipts or an example as to why we gave that rating. Again, the rating system official scientific scale is smug, aka fucking killing it. Delusional, aka not fucking killing it. Honoured in theory, did our best, or under investigation, is this even a thing? Should we even continue? We need to investigate. My goal of be happy, I was going to break down into 12 months of micro goals. My first one was in January, was to plan out what the next 11 months are going to look like. And I've done that. So my rating is going to be smug. So I've finally set up my monthly goals for the rest of the year, and I feel deeply superior about that. A 12-month be happy plan, and I've done a focus for each month. February, my focus is sleep because that's the foundation of all happiness, all things. March is energy. April is movement. May is reducing friction in my life. June is a focus on relationships. July, a focus on the mental load. August, a focus on joy and play and doing things for me. September, money. October, environment, my household, organization. November, work. And then December, to wrap it up, is going to be a gratitude focus. And I wanted us to set a micro goal for next week so that we can check in on that micro goal week on week. My micro goal for next week is to pick one consistent lights out time and stick to it for at least 4 nights. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I just want in the next week 4 nights to go to bed at the time that I'm saying is a reasonable time and see how I go.
Okay, you're onto it. You're smug.
I'm onto it. I mean, I'm smug AF.
AF. Oh, look at us. We've just said the same thing at the same time. Okay, my goal was to grow. And I think this week my rating would be pretty smug. And the reason would be is because I did something that was pretty cool. I was like, I'm going to manifest that something's going to come into my path today that's going to create connection, that's going to force me to do something. And it sounds really woo-woo because most of my things are woo-woo. But Patty and I went to dinner at a restaurant in Belongil called the Belongil Bistro. Sitting there, and this couple sits down next to us. And I was like, oh, they've got a cool vibe. And then for some reason, I think our dinner arrived or our entree arrived. And I was like, this is phenomenal. These are so yummy. We had some oysters. And one of the girls, she was like, oh, they look amazing. And I said, yeah, they sound really good. And then she said, are you on holidays? I said, yeah, we are. Patty said, where do you live? And she said, oh, we're from the Southern Highlands.
Random. You're not allowed to be friends with her, by the way. You have a friend. You have one friend.
I know. She's sitting there and I was like, no way. And she's like, what? And I was like, we're from the Southern Highlands. And she's like, no, this is the weirdest thing ever. It ends up that we have a lot of mutual friends.
What mutual friends do you have?
Well, this is the interesting
Who
part.
is it? Do I know her?
You may. So her kids go to the same school. And so basically it's a shout out to them. They are little Burradoo chefs.
I started following them on our Grab Her by the Mic Instagram the other day.
I ran into them at dinner. They were sitting next to me.
Is that
at
not
dinner.
weird?
Yep. They sat next to us at dinner and we had the best night. So Bianca and Christelle, they own the company and they are a local catering company in the Southern Highlands and they do beautiful produce. They are very much focused on where the produce comes from.
Love that.
Paddock to plate.
Do they use local farms?
They use local produce. They do a lot of the Exeter village markets. They'll use produce from there. They've been in business for a year and it is just taking off and they are doing so well and everyone speaks so highly of them. So a big shout out to Bianca and Christelle because we had the most beautiful night with you guys and we enjoyed our dirty martinis and just having a blast. Their food looks amazing. They're amazing. They're the most beautiful people and it's interesting you shared their story.
So random.
Then I sit next to them at dinner and that day I was like, something's going to come into my path that's going to push me or is going to create a connection. And this was them. And this put me in a really positive frame of mind to go, this stuff does happen. This can happen and it will happen. So I've reached out to them and said how much of a beautiful time that we've had with them at dinner and that we'd love to catch up. And they said meeting you was fantastic and that we definitely will be in each other's lives. So that goes to show connection is amazing.
Putting yourself out there as well. If they like you, they're going to love me.
Yeah, they will. They will.
We should have them on the podcast.
They're a really good time.
Oh my God, let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm going to go smug. I just went with it, loved it, and I felt the return for the first time on feeling good about my New Year's resolution.
Perfect. And is that your to grow or is that your community podcast goal? I guess it fits into both.
Actually, it was both because it was me growing in a social setting.
Well, putting yourself out there for sure.
But I didn't think that person was going to cross my path for the reason that they had. We had a really good social interaction, but I also think that they're a really good little business that's going in the Southern Highlands. And this business is run by 2 women. Like, go girls. Phenomenal.
Girl power. Love it. We have posted about the check-in. We haven't really had any responses, but what we have had is, I think, 17 new followers in the past week. That comes from us resharing on our socials, which is something I haven't done.
I looked at what was sitting there, and in front of both of us, we have individual personal communities, and I was
Yeah.
like, these guys need to support us, because I'd support them. So I put it out to my followers and said, if you can follow this is amazing. Follow along, because we need you. We're doing
We
this. We
do.
need you, and we need some traction, and we need people to be invested and interested for us to continue that momentum. So that was something I was like, do I post? And I thought, what have I got to lose?
I love that.
So I think we're on a bit of a path.
We're both feeling pretty smug in
Yeah.
general. I think we're doing really well. And obviously, if you are listening, if you do like the content, please follow us on wherever you listen to podcasts, because that really helps the podcast algorithm. Okay, let's get into the hyperfix for this week, because my whole family's at the RSL.
Believe me, I know obsession, I invented it, but these two next level, it's the hyperfix.
Welcome to the hyperfix. This is the segment where we spiral so hard about one specific thing that it becomes everyone else's problem.
I can go first.
Okay, you go first.
My hyperfix this week is a very, 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 very interesting post. Okay, her name is Lucy Valley. So Lucy Valley posted something, and I was like, this chick is reading my mind. The Timothy Chalamet speech when he won his award.
The Golden Globe?
No, it was the Critics' Choice Award. So he thanked his partner of 3 years.
I've heard a lot about this.
And I was like, partner, when did I start calling Patrick my partner and not my boyfriend? And when do I call him my partner now that we're married? Are you my partner because we run this podcast together? Yeah, you'd be my partner.
I see you as my partner because I see you as my true soulmate.
Same. Same. She posts this. At the Critics' Choice Awards, Timothy Chalamet publicly thanked Kylie Jenner, calling her his partner of 3 years instead of his girlfriend. The moment obviously went viral because the word partner didn't land well, I guess we could say.
I think it was more that it's the word partner feels formal. It feels like an arrangement.
Correct. So this is what she said, and I thought it was really interesting. Partner is common in spaces where we're trying to gender neutral language.
100%.
So a business partner, a colleague,
Same-sex couple.
we're trying to gender neutral that relationship. And I think he was trying to become that person. He was trying to call her out to say, no, I'm not the winner. She's not the winner. I'm not the leader in this relationship, nor is she. We, in our 3 years in our partnership, are neutral and we are even and they're equal. And so what made me think is maybe they are married. Are they married? We wouldn't know.
They don't even live together.
But how do we know that?
I don't know. I heard it on a podcast.
They could have secret underground tunnels for all we know. Like they've got that much money.
Elon Musk.
Yeah. And then I thought, is he trying to say that if they are married, that they will always be equal? And is he going to be able to keep up with that? Or is she going to be able to acknowledge that? And her body language wasn't particularly anything. I think she played it very cool. But the partner thing kind of moves away and takes away from her being the woman. Because when you say, oh, my girlfriend or my wife, they're labels, and a girlfriend has a responsibility and a wife has a responsibility.
A domestic responsibility.
Correct. But he's calling her partner. She's got no responsibility but just to turn up and be his partner. And then Lucy goes on to say the language isn't neutral. The word girlfriend and wife have often carried expectations about support, flexibility, and emotional labor.
Yep.
Choosing partner doesn't erase those dynamics, but it does signal that his attempt to step outside of them. I don't know. It felt a bit like I'm trying to be super cool.
I mean, I have my own opinions on this.
Mm-hmm.
I think what Lucy was saying somewhat similar to what I'm thinking, but I'm thinking he's not been shy about his ambitions for awards, for Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
Public commentary has been that his relationship with Kylie Jenner, because of who she is and why she is famous with the reality show, that is going to be a roadblock to him achieving that sort of critically acclaimed status. And I think him calling her partner is to try to elevate her to a different level than the public currently see her. Public see her, I'm not going to say as trash, I'm going to say as a reality TV star.
Yeah.
So he's trying to elevate her to a status where she is on par with him. So similar to what you're saying, similar to what Lucy is saying. So it helps his Oscar run, because aren't they going to start doing Oscar campaigns soon?
The Oscar campaigns do start soon. And I think that he's trying to become talked about as well because of this. I think this was publicity. I think he knew.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it was a publicity stunt. I think he was trying to plant subconscious sort of thoughts about her within the public domain by saying partner versus saying girlfriend. But then why dress like a fluoro orange fucking witch's hat? I don't know. Opposite.
I know. It sends really mixed messages. I think the footage of the night was quite interesting. I think the last time she went to this award show, Demi Moore snubbed her. And then this award show, she leant in to kiss someone else and they kind of did a whole quick pivot and didn't kiss her then. I just can tell she doesn't feel at the same level in this, and I think she stands out, and I think he planned all along to use those words when he was giving that speech.
100% he did. But this is the first time that he's done any sort of public recognition to how long that they've actually been together. Doing that and saying 3 years is to show legitimacy to the relationship and to almost age her up in a way, or, you know, make it feel like a grown-up relationship. Whereas if you call someone your boyfriend or your girlfriend, I do feel like I'm back in high school.
Yeah, and like you said, you want the respect of an old, loyal relationship, and you wear a yellow suit.
Well, it was orange. They were in matching orange. But you know what? I will say this. I don't understand why she would be getting stumped. I mean, if anything, yes, she's had a lot of help along the way to get where she is, but she is, by all accounts, a very smart, successful businesswoman. And why would that cause any lack of respect?
She made her own millions.
She has made her own money, and
Yeah.
she's probably my favourite. And I don't really understand why she would be being snubbed. You know, you got to remember how old Timothée Chalamet is. And also you got to remember how old that she is, which is not that old. She's got 2 kids. Her maturity level, therefore, is going to be miles above any other child of
Yeah.
that age. And I don't know why people wouldn't respect her for what she's built for herself and built for her family
Yeah.
and her kids, because she's not with the father. It's her.
I think people are still jealous, and I think people are still intimidated, and I think people still look at her and always, always, always have that opinion on the Kardashian Jenners, regardless. No matter what they do.
It's cliquey high school bullshit.
Yeah.
And it is a purely female thing, and I hate it. And I hate that we do that.
I agree. It actually made me, when I watched her body language, I thought, that poor girl, I feel for her, because I think she, in the back of her head, would feel not that she shouldn't belong there, but that the conversations allude to the fact that she shouldn't be there, or she's not deserving to be there. And how can she be with him?
But she's not an actress. She's there supporting her partner
Yeah.
of 3 years.
But
who
no one would
is
see that.
making his name within the industry. And honestly, everyone else can fuck off. She's worked so hard to get to where she is. Yes, there's a little bit of nepotism there of how she got there, but still the work is going to be there. And her name and her face is on everything. So why would she be getting any disrespect? If anything, females within any industry should be building that up.
But see, the only people that snubbed her were female. No bloke snubbed
Exactly.
her. They
No,
couldn't
of
care
course
less.
not. It just makes me a little bit angry, because if
Mm.
anything, I see her as a little bit better than them, because she probably has more of a strategic mind than them.
If you could sit down at dinner and you could pick either Timothy to sit down at dinner with, to ask all the questions, have a night, not in a romantic way, but to just lock and load with Timothée Chalamet or Kylie Jenner, who would you pick?
No fucking interest in Timothée Chalamet. Kylie Jenner, as someone who is a businesswoman, I find very interesting.
Yeah.
And she's fucking hot. So Timothée Chalamet, take him or leave him. He's a child to me, honestly. I'm too old for that.
So what's your hyperfix?
My hyperfix is a little bit more serious. I've done a lot of research into this today.
Are you calling me shallow?
No, but everyone says you're a very good balance to my seriousness, which I think is great. Serves both audiences.
Am I yin or yang? Which one?
I don't know. Whichever one's the black one, that's you. I'm gonna continue. My hyperfix this week. I've got a bit of a long one. It's about the holidays that we're on. Every year without fail, we make our annual, I'm going to call it a pilgrimage to Merimbula. And when I say annual, I mean annual. We've been coming to the same caravan holiday park since my kids were born, which is NRMA Merimbula Beach, which I'll put a link in the show notes. My husband and I, we've been tossing up whether or not to buy a caravan. We've been doing a little bit of research. We've been going to different parks. This by far is the best one that we go to every single year. My husband's been coming here since he was a baby, and then his father has been coming here since he was a baby. So that means my husband's family has been coming to the same holiday park for over 60 years. Every single year. And at this point, it's not really a holiday, it's a ritual, it's tradition, it's probably a cult. At the end of the year, I feel like I've clawed my way to the end of each year, and it's like we're crawling to this trip, thinking that it'll reset us, it'll cleanse us, it'll fix whatever's been broken in the past year. Every single year, same cabin, same path, same beach, same arguments. And I've noticed something year on year, at least since we've had kids. Every year, without fail, day 3 is when shit hits the fan. Day 1, magical. Everyone's optimistic. It's going to be so much fun. Day 2, still riding the wave, riding the vibe, a little bit tired, but we're here and it's very exciting still. Day 3, someone cries over nothing. Someone's starving 5 minutes after breakfast, or someone is screaming like they've been emotionally betrayed by a spoon. And it's usually my kids, usually Noah. Mabel has, up until this year, not really known what's going on. This is the first year she's really cottoned on and gone and getting excited into the tradition and being with the cousins, because it's everyone. It's my husband and our 2 kids. It's his parents in a cabin. It's his sister, his brother-in-law and their 3 kids in a caravan up the other side of the park. It's his brother who lives in Texas and his wife and their beautiful baby at another cabin. So it's everyone, it's whole family here every single year. Last year, on day 3, Noah ran away. When I say run away, I mean he sort of stormed off at a pace to my sister-in-law's caravan at the other end of the park. And of course, he was a little bit young. He didn't run. He walked slowly, dramatically, very loudly, stomp, 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 stomp. And I just followed him at a distance. It was like a bit of a wildlife documentary, just watching him sort of stomp, 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 be upset, stomp, running away, stomp, stomp, stomp.
Are you allowed to be seen, or do you have to hide when they
turn? He knew I was there, which in hindsight only served to enrage him even more, because he kept looking back and going, rah, and like stomp, 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 stomp. So now it was like a slow motion standoff. He's stomping, he's screaming, he's crying, and I'm 10 meters behind him like, I'm not chasing you, but I'm also not letting you out of my sight because you're a little bit young to be off on your own. And it would have been funny if it hadn't been so deeply publicly embarrassing. This year, day 3 rolls around again, and once again, Noah is just fucking in my face. He's not naughty, he's not mean, he's just overexcited, overstimulated, talking, moving, bouncing, just existing really fucking loudly. And my ADHD brain is already like, I'm at capacity. I'm one sound away from just walking down the street and directly into the ocean. Like that's it. And, you know, he was recently diagnosed with ADHD, which is relevant, and I'll go into that a little bit later. But all I wanted was for him to just fucking sit down for 5 minutes of quiet time to let his brain reset before we went to the beach, because it was a beautiful day. And it was too early to go to the beach. I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I'm hungry. What are we doing? I'm hungry. I'm going to watch TV. Can I do this? When are we going? When are we going? I'm like, it's 7 a.m. We're not going to the beach. You know, no one's down there. So I just wanted to sit down and stop talking for 5 minutes. I was overstimulated. I was touched out. He's just fucking in my face all the time. Those 5 minutes turned into about a 45-minute meltdown at peak time when we're supposed to be leaving for the beach.
You're like, God damn it.
Like, he wouldn't sit down, and that became the hill I was going to die on, because I don't understand why you won't just fucking sit down and do what you're told. That was my thing. It's reasonable. I just want you to sit down and be quiet and just do what you're told. Why can't you just do that? And obviously there's the ADHD element in that, which there's a lot more impulsivity, a lot less executive function going on. So we're late to the beach with his family. And finally we get there, and he's had his 5 minutes of the semi-quiet. Technically I win, so I feel really, really good about that. But when we arrive, I get there and I go straight to my sister-in-law, and I'm so sorry to my in-laws. I make the joke that surprisingly it actually wasn't Mabel who needed the timeout this time. It was the good child. And my sister-in-law turns to me and she goes, oh yeah, you know, day 3. It's a thing. We had the same thing when day 3 hit, because they've been here for a little bit longer than us. And then I stopped and went, wait, is it a thing? And it turns out, yes, scientifically, it is extremely a thing. And I did a deep dive, and I'm going to teach you something. So there's actually a bunch of science behind why day 3 of a holiday is when everyone starts losing their minds. And I've dropped the links in the show notes for this. There's quite a few if you want to fact check me or go down that rabbit hole like I did. The first thing is that your nervous system can only handle novelty and change for about 48 to 72 hours before it starts to crack the shits on you. And it's called allostatic load. Basically, the cumulative stress of adapting to change and to a new environment. New place, new beds, different food, different noise, different routine, different everything. And then even if it's fun, your brain is still working overtime because novelty is basically cardio for your nervous system. By day 3, the novelty's worn off and the fatigue has not. Emotional regulation drops, impulse control drops, and everyone becomes feral. Every year I notice this. It is a real thing. The second thing is that routine is the emotional scaffolding for kids. Kids use routine to regulate themselves. When routine disappears, their brain has to work overtime to feel safe and secure in their environment. So that means there's less brain left for patience, for listening, for transitions, or for any emotional control. So basically by day 3, kids' brains are like, I'm tired of holding my shit together. That's when you start getting tantrums, fighting, crying over who I personally have to cuddle first when it's time to put them to bed, or screaming because someone looked at them in a way that they deemed offensive, which has been every single fucking morning with Mabel. The third thing that comes into play is sleep debt. Even if your bedtime is basically the same thing when you're on holidays always mean they get worse sleep, there's more stimulation, there's more excitement, and they're in different beds. So sleep deprivation is going to happen no matter how hard you try to keep that routine the same. And sleep deprivation in kids looks different, and it doesn't look quiet. It looks like hyperactivity, impulsivity, and emotional chaos, the opposite of what you would think. And then you get into my specific scenario, adding ADHD into this whole thing. ADHD brains love novelty, but they burn through regulation way faster than normal brains, and they struggle more with transitions, with overstimulation, with emotional regulation, and with change in routine. So day 1 to 2, it's like dopamine, beach, holiday, chaos, life is beautiful, this is amazing. And then day 3 hits and their nervous system is fried, their executive function is offline, and everyone is the problem. Kids often show overload as hyperactivity, defiance, and emotional explosions, which is exactly what I was seeing in Noah. Hyperactive, in my face. I'm like, just sit down for 5 minutes. 2 seconds later, I'm bored. This is boring. I hate this. This is so boring. And then you get the adult side of things, which is me. So you get ADHD adults showing overload as rage, shutdown, as crying in the bathroom, or in my specific scenario, Googling how to have a car accident, but not seriously getting hurt, but hurt enough just to need a few nights in hospital for a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. So Noah wasn't being a little shit. His brain was cooked, and so was mine. So we've got 2 dysregulated nervous systems in a small cabin arguing about sitting down. What could possibly go wrong?
It's a recipe for disaster.
A recipe for disaster every single year. Day 3. It's a thing. So if your family holiday goes to shit on day 3, congratulations, you're not broken. Everyone's nervous system is just a little bit done. Holidays aren't relaxing. You got to remember they're just parenting in a different location with worse logistics and higher expectations. I then went, okay, what can we do to help next year? Because again, annual pilgrimage, it's a cult. Apparently, what you got to do is not push through. It's not make the most of it. It's not, we're here now, so enjoy it and let's play happy. We have to acknowledge it. What you need to do is reduce the load. The nervous system doesn't care about your holiday agenda. It doesn't care about you pretending to be the best family in the caravan park. It wants predictability. It wants sleep. It wants less simulation, and it wants fewer decisions, which is honestly just rude, but this is where we're at and this is how the human brain works. So I looked up what's the best advice. So the first thing is bring back any routine. Call it a fake routine. Same breakfast, same quiet time, same bedtime ritual, just enough structure to stop everyone's brain from free falling and spiraling out of control. Next thing you got to do is protect sleep like it's a sacred ritual. Stop stacking late nights like you're at a music festival. One early night can seriously save your entire family. Next step, schedule a low stimulation day, or at least half a day. So not a wasted day. Don't see it like that. Call it a recovery day. Stay in the cabin, do Legos, watch a movie, no heroics. Even if it's a beautiful sunny day outside, just go, okay, it's day 3. We're going to stay in for half the day. We're just going to let everyone re-regulate themselves. Step 4, make fewer decisions. Just pre-decide your plans, pre-decide your food. Give children only 2 options at a time, like you're some sort of benevolent dictator. Make it really simple so you're not fighting. I don't know what I want. Mabel's always like, I don't know what I want. And then she gets angry at herself for not knowing what she wants. And then if you've got ADHD in the mix, you've got to front load all your regulations. So before you go and do something, which is what I was trying to get Noah to do, you've got to have the quiet time before you hit the chaos, not after. Be calm first, then it sets them up for success when there's a lot of stimulation and hyperactivity getting into it. And most importantly, lower your expectations when you're on holiday. So the goal isn't to make magical memories. The goal is that everyone remains emotionally intact. for the
Yeah.
holiday. So next year on day 3, I'm not booking any activities. I'm not playing any adventures. I'm not chasing any joy. I'm just planning vibes, quiet, predictable, emotionally boring vibes, because apparently that is what it takes to keep everyone alive for a 2-week holiday.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Well, it's interesting because I said before it takes 3 days before
3 days.
anyone can actually get into holiday mode. And I've noticed with Hamish, there's definitely those signs when he's on this holiday. I can see him tensing. I can see the hyperactivity. I can see the dysregulation, the tiredness and everything. And it's funny, before we go and do something now, my new thing is, and I read in a book, that if you put the window down in the car, they're not sitting in the car, it's on a confined space, but they have nothing but to feel that air on their face. That resets. It's a distraction. I can't not focus on it because it's literally in my face. And Hamish and Maggie were quite heightened this morning. There was a tension. They weren't listening. They were spiraling. And to kind of reset them, I was like, I'm going to put this window down and see if they're quiet. And they were quiet.
So
They were
quiet.
calm.
They're so tired though. Also on holidays, I feel like the kids are just
it's a
always
lot.
tired. Yeah.
It's a lot. And so I can't expect them to be fine because I'm tired. It's
You're not
tiring.
fine. Yeah.
I'm not okay.
I'm touched out.
Yeah, like Patty and I are really good, and I have to give it to us, really good at tapping out. I just said to him, I can see you need to tap out. I've got the cons. And he'll tap in and I'll tap out.
I thought that was pretty interesting. There's actual science behind the day 3 phenomenon, because every year James and I look at each other and we're like, what the fuck is going on with the kids? It's just totally out of control. It's like something you've never seen before.
And you're in this zone where you're like, this is supposed to be the best time. We're supposed to all be happy and together. And no, you have to give
Yourself space.
and them. I need the space. He needs the space. But definitely the combination of all of those things make 100% sense now that you say it. Really interesting.
My dinner's waiting, so I'm going to get into the side quest real quick.
These ladies cannot stay on topic for 5 seconds. This is the side quest.
It's time for the side quest, the part of the podcast where we play a game because no one here has the attention span for a proper segment. Today, we're proving that family holidays are just Stockholm Syndrome with snacks. Today's game is called Holiday or Hostage Situation. I'm going to read out a series of scenarios, and you, Philippa, are going to decide on pure instinct whether it sounds like a relaxing holiday or a hostage situation. No overthinking, gut reaction only.
Okay. I feel like everything's going to feel hostage.
100%.
You're in that frame
Everything
of
is a
mind.
hostage situation. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
First scenario. You got woken up at 5:12 a.m. by someone screaming that their toast is wrong. Holiday or hostage situation?
Hostage. For
Of
sure.
course.
What are you
Of
doing in the freaking
course.
toaster at 5 a.m.? Go back to
Honestly.
bed.
I know my kids have the light that turns green at 7. They're not allowed to get out of bed. We brought that with us. Situation number 2. Negotiating with a small person about why they have to sit down for 5 minutes.
Oh, hostage.
100%.
Honestly. Just sit down.
Okay. Situation number 3. Hiding in the bathroom for a moment of peace while everyone yells your name through the door.
Oh, this happens all the time. 9 times out of 10, it's when I'm doing a poo and there's no lock on the door.
There's no lock on the door. Why are there no locks on holiday doors? I don't understand. I'm like, I just want to pee, and my in-laws in the cabin, and Mabel's like, I'm like, here's my
No,
G-banger.
I have like my foot up against the door and like the Glen 20 to spray anyone's eyes that comes into.
I can't see. Situation number 4. The internet is so bad you consider driving to another town to send one email.
Hostage.
Situation number 5. Someone is crying. You're not entirely sure why, but it feels urgent.
Oh, hostage. Why does this happen? But why does it? No one calls for dad, or dad's can be standing right there. And
They'll stand next to you. They'll be sitting on the couch next to you, be like, Mum, I'm hungry. I'm like,
dad's in the kitchen. Literally.
he's making toast for himself.
Yep. Hostage.
Number 6. You're surrounded by people you love, but fantasizing about being alone in a quiet room or potentially a hospital bed.
I'd love that. I often dream of just a quick little trip, you know? Thought, is that a box jellyfish the other day? And I thought,
Here's my arm.
sting. And then I thought, no, it's probably not a good idea. But yes, definitely hostage. But I'd love it. That would feel like a holiday.
Situation number something, because I've forgotten. You're eating snacks standing up yet again.
This is me all the time. I never sit down.
Oh, and in secret. You want to hide the good snacks.
Okay, so this is funny. Pat's dad buys a leg of prosciutto every Christmas. He pre-cuts a whole container and it sits in the fridge. And the other day I sat on the toilet, with 3 pieces in my hand, and I just did a wee. With one hand, I was holding my prosciutto, did a wee, and then I just sat there and I ate my prosciutto on the toilet, full blown. That was relaxing.
Salami nipple all over again, where you found a bit of salami down your brow last week.
The salami nipple.
Anyway, situation number something. You've been awake for 3 hours, but you're tired already and need a nap.
Hostage.
Last one, situation number last. You're on a beautiful beach, you're reading your book, but everyone is angry.
This is what my holiday is.
I know. I know.
And I read the same page 10 times because I just can't get it because I'm constantly getting a snack, constantly topping up sunscreen. And I look into the distance and my husband's like,
So honestly, that was it. The point of the story is when you're on holiday with kids, everything is a hostage situation. You get no rest. You're just parenting in another location. The chaos just moves with you. And if you can't tell the difference between a holiday and a hostage situation, you must be on day 3.
Day 3.
Day 3. Should we get into the manifest for the week before we wrap up?
Let's manifest. Let's manifest.
Weekly manifest. Great. They're doing motivational speeches yet again.
This week, we manifest a manageable holiday, not a perfect one. Remembering that if everyone is alive and mostly regulated, that counts as a success. We will schedule less, rest more, and lower our expectations like it's a competitive sport. And when we inevitably hide in the bathroom for 5 minutes, we will return refreshed, emotionally stable, and ready to pretend that we're having fun.
Love it.
Thank you for listening to Grab Her by the Mic.
Perfect. Go girl. Great job. We love you.
Thank you for listening, everyone. If you do like this podcast, please follow, share, recommend, rate, whatever you want. I didn't notice we have 6 5-star ratings. I just don't know how to see them. Definitely do that. It helps us with the algorithm. It helps us with reach. This was Grab Her by the Mic, and we'll see you
next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Chaos Correctional. We have a situation, a very serious situation. They were wrong. Again.
All right, it's time for Chaos Correctional, the segment where we bravely return to the scene of our own misinformation and clean up after ourselves like the responsible adults we absolutely are not. Let's start with the gut stuff, the probiotics-prebiotics situation, aka the stomach lining lie. This week, Philippa said very confidently that probiotics penetrate the lower lining of the stomach where all your bacteria gets affected, which is not how any of that works. Here's the real version. Your gut bacteria mostly live in your intestines, not your stomach. The stomach is basically a hostile acid pit designed to kill things. Probiotics are live, beneficial bacteria that survive the journey and can help influence the balance of your gut microbiome. Prebiotics are not bacteria at all. They're fibers that feed the good bacteria you already have. So they're not penetrating the stomach lining. They're not resetting your gut like a factory reboot. They're supporting and influencing the ecosystem that already exists in your intestines. Also, where all your bacteria gets affected is not a medical phrase. That's just vibes. So, helpful? Yes. Magic? No. Do they work better in the morning? Not really. Consistency matters more than timing. We regret to inform you that your gut is not a Roomba. Next up, Rebecca Armitage, royal correspondent-ish. I said that Rebecca Armitage is a royal correspondent. The more accurate version is she's a very legit journalist who has covered the royals as part of her work, including major royal events. But she is not formally a royal correspondent in the British tabloid sense. She works for the ABC. She's a senior journalist and she absolutely knows what she's talking about. But she's not like living in the Buckingham Palace bushes. So is she qualified to write the book? Yes. Does she know the system? Yes. Did I slightly overtitle her? Also yes. Still a great book. Still recommend. No regrets. A note on Filzy's nervous system freakout when she thought she saw her ex. What Filzy described at the pool, the shaking, the tunnel vision, the everything goes quiet feeling, is a classic fight, flight, freeze response. Even if the person isn't actually your ex, the threat isn't real, your brain just goes, this feels dangerous. Your nervous system does not care about logic. It cares about pattern recognition and past threat. So your body goes, heart rate up, muscles tense, vision narrows, brain goes offline. You are now a frightened Victorian child. Totally normal, totally annoying, deeply inconvenient. It may seem like I'm personally victimizing Filzy, but let's talk about the woo-woo. Crystal's sage. and the placebo effect. Do crystals scientifically realign your nervous system through vibrational energy fields? No, but the placebo effect is very real. And also, ritual calms the brain. Belief changes perception. Slowing down changes the nervous system. Having a "I am doing something to feel better" routine actually helps. So, is it the crystal? Probably not. Is it the meaning you assign to the ritual? Yes. If sage makes you feel calmer, your nervous system doesn't care if it's vibes or psychology. Calm is calm. I fully support delusion, as long as it's soothing and not bankrupting you. And finally, Timothée Chalamet, the speech and the Demi Moore snub. Let's clean this up properly. Timothée Chalamet did his partner speech at the 2026 Golden Globes, not the Critics' Choice. That's where he thanked Kylie Jenner and called her his partner of 3 years. Now, the Demi Moore snub story. This comes from a viral clip at the 2025 Golden Globes where Demi Moore, after winning, appeared to bypass Kylie while greeting Timothée Chalamet. The internet immediately decided this was a calculated elite mean girl power move. However, Demi Moore's daughter publicly said it was not a snub at all, that it was chaotic. She didn't see Kylie and she absolutely would have acknowledged her if she had. So, was it viral? Yes. Was it proven shade? No. Was the internet bored and looking for blood? Always. In summary, the gut is not a washing machine. Rebecca Armitage is legit, not just camping at the palace. Timothée said partner at the Golden Globes. Demi Moore probably didn't snub anyone. Your nervous system is dramatic, but doing its best, and crystals are just emotional support rocks. As always, no shame, only data and vibes. See you next Tuesday.